The article is about self-awareness and the really two roles of self-awareness, the internal self-awareness and the external self-awareness. Most people have an understanding about why they do things and they think that that translates into what other people see. But really, when you ask for feedback, the external part of self-awareness oftentimes is different than what we intended. And seeing the combination of those two things creates a greater overall self-awareness for leaders. If a leader is not self-aware, some of the most recent research says that they're 6 times more likely to derail in their career, meaning that they will reach a point at which they can't progress any further, or they'll do something that causes them to not even be effective in the role that they're currently in. So self-awareness is critical for leaders to be able to perform at their best. Leaders at any level should read this article because it will help them to develop both the internal and external self-awareness. There are some practical steps and tips for doing both of those things that will make them even more effective in their perception of overall leadership with the people that they lead. Internal self-awareness is an individual leader's recognition of their own strengths and weaknesses, understanding where they have capabilities and really a background to do something and perform really effective in an area. One example would be somebody who develops great relationships. They would recognize that self-awareness of, I can build this relationship with an individual and maybe create a long-term client relationship or a long-term partnership with somebody. The external self-awareness is looking at it from that other individual's perspective. Is it really a deep relationship, or do they feel like it's more transactional? And so that's the internal-external understanding that you have to have both in order to have the complete picture. So one of the differences between internal and external self-awareness is that 95% in some of the most recent studies believe that they're self-aware, and I believe that that's internal self-awareness. We understand why we're doing something, why we're behaving in a certain way, but we don't necessarily understand the external impacts of that, and that's where only 10 to 15% demonstrate true self-awareness in their behaviors. We see that linkage in over 1,200 360 assessments where individuals who score high in self-awareness tend to score higher, and there's a statistical correlation in the general leadership category. Would people choose them as a leader? Are they seen as an effective leader? So if we can do better in self-awareness, both internal and external, we'll be seen as a more effective leader overall.